Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and last time we left our befuddled developer. He was trying to write something for defer guard checks and talking about himself in the third person. No, that would be Jason. Whatever. Never mind. More coffee is needed. Okay, so as I said in the last episode, the thing we need to put in here is a check to say if you're binding line statements is to put in a check to say, did you ever call guard? And if you did you have at least one statement after that? Now, if I bring up Notepad here, just to illustrate a point here, what happens if I had one defer, we'll just say number of, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's do the ellipses. Whatever I do here. Okay, that's obviously wrong. What happens if I do defer? Well, this is saying that this is okay because you did something after it. Okay. But now you called another defer. Okay. So what happens if I did now here a 1 add 2, something like that. Okay. This is now okay, and this is now okay. This one would be wrong because it would state that I just realized something. Could I actually capture the statement that the capture the statement that was the defer, and if there are any statements after it. So what would happen in that case? I would detect that you did a defer, so I would capture this statement. And the reason I keep saying statement is because I think I don't remember. Can I? Bind statement. Bind line statement. Oh, these are the yeah, these are the things that, okay. Took me a second to realize what I was doing here. So, can I pull this off? So we go to a bind expression statement, or we bind the expression, which we bind to internal. It just keeps going. Bind call expression. Yeah, so here is where I could potentially do this. Syntax location, because you do have a diagnostic spot to bind to. So, what I could do here is say, no, don't need to update my software right now. Don't need to update my OS. But what I could do is get a bound call here, okay, and determine if it is a defer, okay. And so what I want to do is I want to detect either the syntax or the bound expression or whatever, that I did a defer. And then I also need something to say, did you call something after it? So the first time I detected a defer, I put that in there. I said, did I detect it as false? Okay. Well, then the next time I come through, I see this, I'll switch that to that, and I'll say it's false. So in this case, once I come out, I'd be like, well, you call it a defer, but you didn't have anything after that's wrong. In this case, it wouldn't detect this one. It would detect this one. In this case, what would happen is it goes, oh, there's something after it. Okay. So, yay, you're good. I just have to remember that every time I do a statement in the line, that I just flip that boolean to true, because I would have gotten to the next one. Okay, I think I know what I just said in my head. Now I actually have to do it. So, okay. What do I want to say here? Only if it wasn't, if you got down here and it wasn't an error. So if function is equal to built-in functions dot defer, then I want to capture where the error potentially could be. Okay. What is syntax? That's a call expression syntax. So we'll say this defer was invoked. I have a message. All right, defer is invoked is equal to syntax. Okay, so that's the call expression that actually happened. So we're going to put in here, generate a field, and it's going to be conditional. Okay. Now, every time I generate a line, bind line statements. Okay. So in here, this dot defer is going to be null. Okay, because we're coming into it the first time. And then we want to say this does statement exist after defer is equal to false, because we don't know. Okay. Did it pick up that should be a bool? It does. Okay. Good. Now, shoot. This is the problem that I have. This is just a generalized thing. Now, the only time, though, I could come in here is it wouldn't happen with a line statements or statement. Okay. It would only happen with bind expression statement. So if I believe I'm doing this right, does statement exist after defer? Just flip it. Okay. So let's come back to line statement here. And now we need to say if this defer was invoked is not null and not this does statement exist after defer. Then we need to flag it. Okay. So why are you, oh, and okay. Trying to make my code easier to read. Okay, let's come back to where I do a call expression. Okay, there we go. And then we flip it on the other one. We flip the bit. So if we come back down to bind line statement, if you ever call defer, and you never found anything afterwards, now we have to say this.diagnostics report no statements after defer. And if I remember right, we could probably just pass in this.defer. Now that is a call expression. What I really want is the location. Yes. Bob's your uncle. Okay. And we come into here. We're going to do something very simple. We're going to say, we don't need, you know, that's one thing I wish there was a, you know, I get that they can probably optimize it out, but if I really don't need to interpolate anything in the string, then just tell me, and then I'll get rid of the dollar sign there. But minor thing. All right. No statements exist after this defer call, because I'm gonna know the location of where the defer call existed. I'll do defer. Now let's actually run this. But from the, I guess this is where having the REPL is nice, because I don't have to actually write code and try to compile it and blah, blah, blah. So if I say, like, let's do, nope, not that, that. So let's load the file, and now say run. Perfect. Okay, that has no failures. Let's reset, come back here, load that, load file, that, and now run. No. What did I just... Oh, I didn't... I thought I copied the name there. Okay. Reset, load file, that. Now it's running. Okay, that's good. Okay, so that actually works. Oh, shoot. Now, let's do something like 1 defer. The number of 1 is greater than 2. It doesn't matter. Here we're going to say print. Okay. So, right, you don't defer it, because it wouldn't be greater than 2. Okay. Let's reset. And now let's do this. You should have shown errors. So it didn't work. Okay, what did I do wrong? I want to check that and check that. Okay. So let's run this first just to see what happens. The error will become obvious as soon as I run this. Defer N1, 2, be quiet, kitty. Yeah, I know. You have to run it into debugger, you moron. Oh, great. And I bet I don't. No, this should be under the debugger, right? Well, didn't yell at me, so 1 defer n of 2 n of 1 greater than 2 run. Okay, so this defer was invoked as null. It is something. Yeah, this is the problem. Because I can't, every expression that comes after it even the one within the defer is going to trip this. So that's not what I want. I mean, I'm close. I just need a better way to determine Okay, so let's pull this out from here. Yeah, we don't want that there. Now that I think about it, I think I just solved my problem. So we're going to put this here for now. Can we even say make a select? No. For each var line statement in syntax statements. Okay. And then, yeah, we can do that later. But we're going to need this now. So var bound lines. What is bound lines? List of bound statements. New list of bound statements. Yeah. Why are you barking at that? Is that statement? Yeah, it's okay, statement. Okay, so then we're going to say bound lines dot add this bind statement of a line statement. Okay. But I can only do this if you just flip the bit. So, hold on. Let's get that out of here. I don't know why it's doing that to me lately, where it will just like it'll just close the file for some unknown reason. So how do I do this? You only turn it to true if defer was invoked. Like I know the logic in my head. I'm just struggling this morning trying to figure it out in actual code. You only want to flip it if defer wasn't null before you added it. Right. So yes, I think I just figured this out in my head. So this dot defer is that. Boom. Because if it's null, then it will be false. Okay. If it's not null, then it will become true because now you're adding another statement to the line. Okay. It may be an incorrect statement, but it's still a statement. Okay. So now you say, okay, I think I got this right now. Yeah, let's close that. Okay, I think I got this right. So let's come back into here, do my 99 bottles. Good. Reset. 1 defer n of 2 n of 1 is greater than 2. Print. Okay. Run. Okay. Reset. So now we're going to do this. Boom. Pow. Reset. Now we're going to say, though, defer n of 1 is greater than 3. We're going to print okay, because this is okay. It is. reset. So now come in here. And now what it should do is report it on the second one. Damn it. It doesn't. Oh. I know what just happened. So the first time it comes in, it sets it to null, or non-null. The second time it comes in, it goes, oh, defer is invoked is true, but does statement exist after defer is false. I'm sorry. It's true again, so it's automatically going to say it's true. What I need to do is, if I find the call to defer, is to flip it, okay? Because this needs to check after. Okay, I think I got it right. How many times have I said that in this episode already? Okay, load file. No, not that file. That'd be a bad file. Does it break that? Nope. Let's say 1 defer and 1 and 2 print. Okay. Run. Okay. Reset. This should error still. Good. I like that. Okay, now let's come back into here and say defer of n1 greater than 3, print, okay. This should be okay. It is. But now let's not do this. And now, bam. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, cool. Let's just, before I finish this off, just make sure that the Fibonacci sequence does. Good. Okay, so that's good. That's actually, I think we now have everything. I'm going to run tests, not that they'd find this problem, but, you know, I like this because this now, there's another issue that I have in GitHub where if the compilation causes diagnostics to not run the emitter, I don't think I have that check in there just yet. So all the tests pass, good. So that one is something I'm going to address later. Let me just see if I can show that here. So I do compilation. Oh, no, I do, okay. I do print them, okay. I don't think, though, that the diagnostic printer is printing, yeah, it's printing to the console, but it really needs to print a console error, I think, is the real thing. That's because I don't see it when it comes through on that, on this thing that I'm doing right now, and that's what it needs to do, is to actually, you see like all these files go flying by, but it just says it encountered an error. And then what you need to do is actually like do MS build diagnostic tracing. No, I think that's the problem though. But that's going to be addressed in a different GitHub issue. I think with this one though, we've got this down now to where we want it, which is really, really nice because I can see syntactically, I can see in the error message what the problem is. And then in the emitter, I don't even have to worry about that. I simply did the thing I was supposed to do. And that's something else I have to go through, which is by the time I get to the emitter, I should assume, you know, if I've got, maybe this is where all the things like with internal and public need to be ironed out. But I should be able to assume that if the emitter is being called, you got to the compilation phase and you created your bound tree and there were no diagnostics. So you can assume things. I think there's a couple cases in the emitter that I created. If I look up throw, yeah, like if I emit a statement, all I should find in this case is a bound expression statement. There should be no chance of me ever getting into this condition. Okay, and so I can clean that up. In this case, there are no others here. I should never get to this case. If I'm adding in a new thing, which I wouldn't at this point, I guess. I don't see what I could add in new calls. Like I could add in new mathematical calls or other calls to things that the runtime would know about. But that would be a call expression. That wouldn't be anything else, I don't think. So I could get rid of this too. So those are things I also need to clear up, which is make sure I have a issue in GitHub around that to say get rid of emit exception, because there's really there should be no reason to do this other than just, I guess it's a safety net if anything else, but I don't see this ever changing enough. Of course, famous last words. This is potentially where some people go, well, somebody else comes into the code and adds something and didn't consider this case, and maybe years down the road I do this. But this language is so simple, I don't ever see doing any other types. There really aren't any. And so, unexpected conversion type. When would I ever come into another type? So consider removing emit exception. I will put that on the list. Consider removing emit exception as a task. Okay, but no, not that. I think we are done for this. I might do one more episode before I start the day job. Okay. So I will commit this. I'll push the branch, blah, 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 do all the things, and then we'll record one other one, because there's a couple other things on my list. So that's all for now. Thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.